Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Here we are again at Matchless Gifts, 26nd Avenue.
Alright, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 26.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 26. I request all the pure-hearted demigods, forefathers and saintly persons to support my proposal, for after death the result of an action is equally shared by its doer, its director and its supporter.
Interesting.
Purport. The government of Prithu Maharaj was perfect because it was administered exactly according to the orders of the Vedic injunctions. Prithu Maharaj has already explained that the chief duty of the government is to see that everyone executes his respective duty and is elevated to the platform of Krishna consciousness. The government should be so conducted that automatically one is elevated to Krishna consciousness. King Prithu therefore wanted his citizens to cooperate fully with him, for if they assented, they would enjoy the same profit as he after death. If Prithu Maharaj as a perfect king were elevated to the heavenly planets, the citizens who cooperated by approving of his methods would also be elevated with him. Since the Krishna consciousness movement going on at the present moment is genuine, perfect and authorized and is following in the footsteps of Prithu Maharaj, anyone who cooperates with this movement or accepts its principles will get the same result as the workers who are actively propagating Krishna consciousness. Wow, what a statement. What a statement. Isn't it interesting how you can read, and then when you read Prabhupada's books and purports again, you're like, I don't remember that the first time round.
Second time, I think it was the third time around.
It's like the holy dam. You know, Prabhupada says when you go to Vrindavan, it gets revealed to you to the extent that we are purified and realized and surrendered, you know. And so different layers of understanding. Some people, oh, it's so horrible and smelly and whatnot, and it's so this and that. And some people, each time you go, you're like, wow, this is so nice, you know. So anyway, yeah, what a statement. What are we saying here? That if we cooperate or accept its principles, that means I'm going to get the same result, and Prabhupada uses the word workers, as the workers who are actively propagating. That's quite a good deal actually. So, because I'm not good at most things, so but distributing or singing or preaching and that, but I'm getting the benefit of all these people that are doing that.
Well, only if you assist. If you cooperate.
Well, I'm cooperating. I'm not a rebel. It's quite a statement.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. What struck me was how important it is that we retain the integrity of Srila Prabhupada's words. Because Prabhupada says, since the Krishna conscious movement going on at the present moment is genuine, perfect, and authorized. So those three things Prabhupada say. It's genuine, perfect, and authorized. And I think we have to be very, very careful that we don't blemish, which it already is to a greater or lesser extent, unfortunately. The good name of Srila Prabhupada, you know. That Prabhupada came with a perfect intention, with a genuine intention, and completely authorized by the previous acharyas. And we can see that it was all of those things because of what happened so powerfully while Prabhupada was here. So we just have to be very, very careful that we don't blemish that. That's what kind of stood out to me.
So true, and sadly, in parts, it has been. Let's be honest, due to unscrupulous behaviours of people, of the workers in the movement, but we still carry on.
Next verse. Next verse is text 27. My dear respectable ladies and gentlemen, according to the authoritative statements of Shastra, there must be a supreme authority who is able to award the respective benefits of our present activities. Otherwise, why should there be persons who are unusually beautiful and powerful both in this life and in the life after death? Interesting. Purport. Prithu Maharaj's sole aim in ruling his kingdom was to raise the citizens to the standard of God consciousness. Since there was a great assembly in the arena of sacrifice, there were different types of men present, but he was especially interested in speaking to those who were not atheists. It has already been explained in the previous verse that Prithu Maharaj advised the citizens to become adhoksajadiyaha, which means God conscious or Krishna conscious. And in this verse, he specifically presents the authority of Shastra. Even though his father was a number one atheist who did not abide by the injunctions mentioned in the Vedic Shastras, who practically stopped all sacrificial performances, and who so disgusted the Brahmanas that they not only dethroned him, but cursed and killed him. Atheistic men do not believe in the existence of God, and thus they understand everything which is happening in our daily affairs to be due to physical arrangement and chance. Atheists believe in the atheistic Sankhya philosophy of the combination of Prakriti and Purusha. They believe only in matter and hold that matter under certain conditions of amalgamation gives rise to the living force, which then appears as Purusha, the enjoyer. Then, by a combination of matter and the living force, the many varieties of material manifestation come into existence. Nor do atheists believe in the injunctions of the Vedas. According to them, all the Vedic injunctions are simply theories that have no practical application in life. Taking all this into consideration, Prithu Maharaj suggested that the theistic men will solidly reject the views of the atheists on the grounds that there cannot be many varieties of existence without the plan of a superior intelligence. Atheists very vaguely explain that these varieties of existence occur simply by chance. But the theists who believe in the injunctions of the Vedas must reach all their conclusions under the direction of the Vedas. Interesting. So, yeah. Prabhupada's really kind of nailing down this point of Prithu Maharaj's, again, his intention and his appeal is to the theistic class of people, and he's encouraging them to take shelter of the Lord, and and simultaneously he is also acknowledging the atheists and encouraging them to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Any thoughts? No.
Next paragraph. In the Vishnu Purana, it is said that the entire Varnashram institution is meant to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The rules and regulations set up for the execution of the duties of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, or Brahmacharis, Grihastas, Vanaprasthas and Sannyasis, are all meant to satisfy the Supreme Lord. At the present moment, although the so-called Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras have lost their original culture, they claim to be Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras by birthright. Yet they have rejected the proposition that such social and spiritual orders are especially meant for worship of Lord Vishnu. The dangerous Mayavad theory set forth by Sankaracharya that God is impersonal does not tally with the injunctions of the Vedas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore described the Mayavadi philosophers as the greatest offenders against the personality of Godhead. According to the Vedic system, one who does not abide by the orders of the Vedas is called a Nashtika, or atheist. When Lord Buddha preached his theory of non-violence, he was obliged to deny the authority of the Vedas, and for this reason he was considered by the followers of the Vedas to be Nashtika.
Nasty.
But although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very clearly enunciated that followers of Lord Buddha's philosophy are Nastikas, or atheists, because of their denial of the authority of the Vedas, he considered the Sankarites who wanted to establish Vedic authority by trickery and who actually followed the Mayavad philosophy of Buddhist school to be more dangerous than the Buddhists themselves. The Sankarite philosopher's theory that we have to imagine a shape of God is more dangerous than denial of the existence of God. Notwithstanding all the philosophical theorizing by atheists or Mayavadis, the followers of Krishna consciousness rigidly live according to the injunctions given in Bhagavad Gita, which is accepted as the essence of all Vedic scripture. In Bhagavad Gita 18.46, it is said, Yata pravritir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakamanatam abhyarchya siddham vindati manavaha. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection.
Yeah.
This indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of everything, as described in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Yasya Yata. The Lord himself also confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, I am the origin of everything. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all emanations, and at the same time, as Paramatma, he is spread all over the existence. The Absolute Truth is therefore the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and every living being is meant to satisfy the Supreme Godhead by performing his respective duty. Swakamana tam abharyacha. Maharaj Prithu wanted to introduce this formula among his citizens. Interesting. While I was reading that, I got a bit of a... Lord have mercy, that is a long purport. Sorry. It's a long purport. While I was reading that, I got this feeling that here we are reading Prabhupada's purports in matchless gifts, you know. I just got this weird feeling like that's quite far out, you know. Literally, and Prabhupada literally there, you know. It's like, but yeah, it's just, and I was kind of like feeling so many years later, because when he came, he had a lot of struggle here in New York, you know. And yeah, so many years later, nearly 60 years later, like we still got this place, thankfully, and we're reading his book, you know, his purports. But very fortunate, and you're very fortunate to help, to be a part of this, you know, activity.
Yeah, and remember from the previous purport, if you assist the workers, or what did it say, work peacefully with, what was the... cooperative, yeah, I think it's cooperate with.
Anyway, I just felt that, but this word Nashtika, it's interesting. Growing up, my mum would always keep going on about the Nastiks, he's Nastic. It was mainly about one particular relative that wouldn't follow the fasting and wouldn't observe this and that. He's such a Nastic. I mean, what's going on? And I don't think I fully understood it until I read Prabhupada's book. So she meant that she was basically saying he's a non-believer, basically. So it's quite interesting. I heard her say it all the time because it was so shocking to her that someone wouldn't do this and observe these prayers and observe this, like, and if you don't do it, then you're clearly an atheist, and that's the worst thing. It was like that.
Well, you have astika, swastika. Swasti means auspicious. Swastika is an auspicious sign. Nastika is the negation of that. Swastik means very auspicious. Swastik. But Gnostic means not auspicious. It's inauspicious. Means basically a non-believer is a Gnostic. He's not auspicious.
That's considered the worst.
Well, no. What's considered worse, because that's touched upon in the purport. Worse than an atheist is a Mayavadi. Because at least an atheist just says the Lord doesn't exist. But Mayavadi accepts that that Krishna does come, but derides his form, and also desires to become one with him. So, according to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is considered worse than being an atheist.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because at least the atheists just say don't exist and they leave it alone. Yeah. They leave him alone, Krishna.
Well, they still blaspheme.
No. What I mean is that the blaspheme is one thing, but meaning like the Mayavadis, they take it to another level because they say, yeah, there is a Krishna, yeah, there is this and that, but it's like if someone's, as we know, if someone's speaking bad about you, someone speaks untruths, it's horrible. You'd rather they just ignore you. They'd rather you just have no relationship. But if they continue to have some connection by saying this, they're like this, they're like that, they do this, that's very hurtful actually. That's very, so it's like that, isn't it? It's like saying, yeah, Krishna exists, but he ain't a person, really. He's just like a blob, or he's just like he just exists everywhere, which means he exists in me. Which that means I must be him. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's like atheist isn't the worst to be atheist because at least they're stupid. They're just a bit stupid, and you can even turn them around.
No offense to any of the atheists out there who might be watching. We're not saying you're the stupidest. We're just saying you're stupid.
But you can convince one, as it were.
One, like.
No, but yeah, it's true. It's so interesting. My buddies, they're just spiteful, That's it. They're spiteful people, and they just.
But they're very clever in their spite. That's
cunning and spiteful people. Then.
Cunning and spiteful.
Yeah, I get that. Why then they're the worst.
Should we pause there and?
Let's pause for thought.
Pause for thought with an F. Pause for fought. Like we fought in the field.
Right. On that note.
Okay, thank you all very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like,
comment,
subscribe,
share.
Yay! Grantarai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Matchless Gifts 26 2nd Avenue, New York, Manhattan Ki Jai.